Hi Cancer, welcome to your month ahead horoscope with me, Raphael from Reydiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. If you haven't already, please don't forget to like, share and hit that subscribe button. It truly helps the channel. If you are a continued subby, thank you so much for all of your continued support. It truly means the world. For those of you that would like to book a personal tarot reading with me, you can do so on the website address below. And for those of you that would like to donate to the channel for any of these videos, you can do so on the web link below. So with that said, I would like to bless all three of these decks with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity and abundance, and I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise and they help you on your path to your highest vibrational good. So let's have a look what November 2018 has in store for you. In your actions and your interactions, you get the Six of Swords. So you are moving away from something. Now, the interesting thing is, although this is about your actions and your interactions, sorry, it's a new deck. I absolutely love them, but I'm not 100% familiar with all of the pictures, so I just need to be careful and, you know, get a good handle on it. So the interesting thing is, although the Six of Swords talks about moving away from a difficult situation, you know, and this is in your actions and your interactions, you're actually making these steps. You are putting things in place to move away from something that you know is no good for you. It could be a person, it could be a situation, it could be, you know, something that you're eating or ingesting, smoking, drinking, all of that sort of stuff. It could be anything that you realize now is no longer beneficial, you're moving away from. But I feel like this is about your emotions. That's the sense that I get from it. It's like this month you've decided to really push away from the emotions that you know are no longer going to serve you, whether that's love for a specific person, whether it is you know, like enjoyment of something. It's like, okay, you know what, I might enjoy that or I might like this person, but I actually know that this experience is no good for me. And the feeling that I get from it, or what I'm seeing, is it's almost like you're pulling yourself apart, you know, or you're pulling yourself and this person or this thing apart. It's like you're separating from something emotionally and saying that doesn't serve me anymore and it isn't going to help grow me. It's not going to take me to where I want or need to be. And the Six of Swords, you know, effectively it's you know, it's a good card in the respect that it means you're moving away from something difficult. But this, I believe, is about a conscious decision. You have made a conscious decision and a conscious effort to say, look, you know what, this isn't gonna, it's not gonna benefit me or serve me going forward. And, you know, ultimately I know that I'm no longer invested in this situation or this person. So your money and your materials this week, you get Strength. Beautiful. Strength card represents the sign of Leo, and effectively the Strength card in your money and materials says that you have the ability to generate the money that you want. You have the ability to improve your finances. What is required from you is for you to dig deep. You are going to have to dig deeper than you ever have this month, Cancer. Finances can be good. You know, the Strength card effectively says that by being who you naturally are, you will be able to draw abundance and prosperity and wealth to you. By, you know, for some of you, put in that cheeky request for a pay rise. For others of you, you know, get out there, start looking for work, start deciding, okay, what is it that I'm going to have to do? And it kind of feels to me, especially with the Six of Swords there and this feeling that I got of splitting away, it almost feels like now you're going to have to discover how strong you are this month. You're going to have to really dig deep and say to yourself, right, okay, I wanted to stay on this path and do this, but I'm going to have to add something to the mix. Whether that is, you know, while you're at your full-time job, taking on a course of study so that you can go into a different higher paying career. Whether it is, you know, that you're not working and you are hoping not to work for a while, but then you have to, you know, this month you actually have to start looking for work and you have to start incorporating that into what you're doing. The Strength card as well also says, you know, it says you've got a lot of strength, you've got a lot of courage, but it's about asking you what your heart's desire is. You know, and this is the question that you need to ask. Is that this month, are you just looking for money? You know, you'll do anything, you know, and just so as long as you get paid? Or Are you looking for something that's going to fulfill you? And if that's the case, like I said, for those of you that are already in work, it feels to me like you're going to have to take on some kind of study, or you're going to have to approach maybe your employer and say, look, I want to take a step up. And that step up may well come with more being put on your plate, because the Strength card always in some way asks us to step up. It asks us to put our feelings aside and to be brave and say, right, okay, well, you know what, I might have to take on extra, but I know what the end goal is, so I'm sticking to it. So your communications with the world at large this month. Let's have a look what you've got. The Star card, beautiful. This is a great card for communication, because it means that you're rubbing shoulders with the right people. It means that you're being heard by the right people, and it also it connects you with a group of people. So reach out to friends, especially this month. If you're looking for work, or if you're looking for studies, or you're looking for somebody that can facilitate something for you, ask your friends, ask your family, ask your tribe, because it will be someone in and amongst those people that will be able to help you find work. It will be someone in and amongst those people that will help you identify what your goals and your needs and your true wants actually are. They'll help you simplify this and define it, and by doing so, you know, you end up in a really good space, a really good place. So communications as well, the Star card is all about internet-based communication. So this month, you know, internet-based stuff. Talk to people that are at a distance from you as well, because you've got the Six of Swords, which is always overseas. It's always further away from you than, you know, further away than a car trip, effectively. You know, speak to people that you know that might be on other sides of the globe. Speak to people that have different ideas, different concepts. It's really interesting as well, because you've got here your money and your materials and your communications. In the money and materials, you've got Strength, which represents Leo. In the communications, you've got the Star, which represents Aquarius. These two are direct opposites in the zodiac, and what that kind of says to me is this is two sides of the same coin. You know, so your money and your materials is going to rely on communication, or if you rely on communicating with people in your tribe, you may well find the job, or, you know, the source of income that you're looking for. Your communications are improved by really defining what it is that you actually want. So that's a really interesting mix there. You know, but communications looks great because the Star card always brings hope to it. Whatever it touches or wherever it is, it always brings you know, a feeling of hope. It's like this glimpse into the future of how good things actually can be if we're providing we're willing to put our heart and soul into it. Heart and half, your personal relationships. Oh, look at that, you get the Three of Cups. There is a reunion for you, Cancer. There is a blast from the past coming. The Three of Cups itself is a card of reunions, but it's also a card of birth. We're talking about here in your heart and half sector, so we're talking about your love life, we're talking about your family relationships. With the Star card there though, this feels to me like somebody that you haven't seen for a long time. In fact, it feels as well like somebody you didn't think you would ever see again. This person is coming back into the fold this month, and they're going to appear almost out of nowhere. And the reason I say that is because the Star card, Aquarius, you know, represents Uranus and Saturn, but, you know, mostly Uranus. It's quick, it's fast, it's things that are sudden, that come sort of out of the blue. The Three of Cups is that reunion. So whether you're single or whether you're taken is irrelevant. This month you will have a blast from the past. Somebody is coming back into your life, somebody is coming back into the fold, and it's going to be almost like a bam, hello, hi, and you're going to be like, whoa, I never thought I would see you again. Like, what are you doing here? This could be somebody that comes from you know, really from a distance. It could be that somebody messages you or contacts you that you haven't heard from in forever and says, you know, how are you, what are you doing? It feels to me though like for a lot of you this is a physical reunion. For those of you that are single, it looks like you're taking a trip down that old romance lane with somebody that you used to share a lot of laughter with, a lot of happiness with, but for some reason ended up parting ways. For those of you that are currently partnered, this is about you and your partner getting back to being friends. This is about you going back to this space of, right, okay, We're not just boyfriend and girlfriend, or boyfriend and boyfriend, or, you know, girlfriend and girlfriend, or husband and wife, or whatever. We're not just that, we're actually people. And before we were boyfriend and girlfriend, husband and wife, we were friends, you know, we got to know each other, because that's ultimately what you do when you're dating somebody, right? You get to know them like a friend, but a friend that you happen to fancy. That's how it works. And then all of a sudden you find yourself in love, and then, you know, as they say, the rest is history. But this feels to me like this month you and your partner are getting back to being friends, as opposed to just being you know, partners or lovers, which is beautiful, because the three of cups gives that kind of warm, friendly, fun, vibrant energy, you know, of just good times to be had by all. But yeah, whether you are single, whether you are taken, there is a blast coming from the past for a lot of you. So let me know how it goes. I mean, we're in a Venus retrograde, so that's true for all of us in some way, shape or form. But for you guys, it's going to come in the form of an actual person or ex-lover. First week of November, you get the World card. Beautiful card. I love this. Now, the World card represents mastery. This is about you taking a step up. And it's interesting because I kind of feel like by letting something go, by really distancing yourself from something on an emotional level, it will free up energy for you on the internal. And by doing that, it's kind of like the World card then happens in the first week of November, where you're like, right, now that I'm actually not emotionally attached to that, I can make some really good decisions, and I can actually see where this stuff was holding me back. Great. You know, really, really great. Second week of November, you get the Empress. Beautiful, grounded, practical, fertile ideas. It feels to me, once you define what it is that you want to do, or how it is that you want to progress or move forward in the second week of November, once you've really made that decision concrete, you will be very surprised at how quickly things begin to manifest, because the Empress is fertile ground. So it's kind of like, you know, you put a seed in and a flower pops out, you know, but it feels like it's expediting that process by being true to who you are and what you actually want, and speaking that aloud. Amazing things happen, and they happen for you quite quickly, which is beautiful. Communications, rather the third week of November, because I was looking at the communications card. You get the Moon card. So this is interesting, isn't it? Right underneath the Star card, because in the sequence, the Moon card actually follows the Star. That's number 17, and this is number 18. So this kind of, for me, feels like you're moving in that direction. But ultimately, the third week of November will see you mulling over the past. And in true stellar, actually, yeah, because it's the Star card. This is going to ask you to ask yourself, and you're going to have to be really real with yourself here, Cancer. You're going to be asking yourself, what are you afraid of? The third week of November will see you addressing your past, and it will see you asking yourself that really big fundamental question, what am I afraid of? And once you observe that, once you give it a name, it's very, very rarely still as scary as it was before. You know, one of my favourite lines actually from a book that I read when I was like 14 is there's nothing frightening in the dark if you just face it, and that is the truth of it. So the third week of November might be a little bit of a dark night of the soul. You might have this, you know, sort of, oh, you know, and it will be because you're searching your past, you're searching your feelings, and you're asking yourself the deep fundamental question of, what am I afraid of? Once you identify it though, amazing things start to shift. And then finally the fourth week, you know, I just said amazing things start to shift. The fourth week of November, you get the Wheel of Fortune. Once you identify what you truly want, once you reach out and you detach emotionally from things that, you know, that no longer serve you, or people that no longer serve you, once you examine your past and you really decide what you are truly afraid of, and you give it a name, the universe steps in to bring you a synchronicity in the Wheel of Fortune. And the Wheel of Fortune is basically saying to you that there is something that is coming to you, there is something that comes from this. By doing this deep introspective inner work, you know, and asking yourself, what am I afraid of? What is the beastie behind the curtain of my mind? Once you get in there and you draw the curtain back and shed some light on it, you'll be like, wow, okay, that's what I was afraid of. And never ever ridicule your own fears. I say this to people a lot. Never, like, don't ever say to yourself like, oh, I can't believe that's what it was. Because in your mind, when you're feeling it, Cancer, feelings, when you're feeling it, it is real. You know, whether somebody else, and as an example, when I was a kid, you know, I'm a Cancer moon, so, you know, when I was a kid, I was afraid of seaweed. And when I say, like, I would see my cousins, brothers, sisters, everybody playing with seaweed and, you know, wrapping it round their feet and all sorts. Even just a dried piece of seaweed next to the floor on me, when I say would give me fear, like completely irrational now, do you know what I mean? I totally understand that. And as I got older, you know, it started to lessen. But when you feel that fear, no matter what it is, over or in relation to, when you feel that fear, it is real. It is really real, you know, and it's different for all of us. So what I'm saying to you is, do that work. Look deep within your subconscious and within yourself and ask yourself, what am I afraid of? And once you open that curtain and you see the thing that's been, you know, behind the curtain, because you can't see it and you're like, you open the curtain and it's like a, you know, a yay high Jack Russell. Do you know what I mean? But because you couldn't see it, you didn't know what it was. Once you give it a name and you open that curtain and you see it, bring laughter to it, bring humour to it, bring love to it, because ultimately it's kept you safe from something, but it's now beginning to hold you back. And the third week of November, you're going to start to understand what that truly means for you. But never ever ridicule yourself or allow anybody else to ridicule you for whatever your fear is. Get to the bottom of it, you know, and do it in a loving way, because that will ensure that you never get angry. Finally, your key to the month. You get the Hermit card. You know, I talked about deep introspection and soul searching and all the rest of it. It looks like this month you are foraging. You are foraging your lifescape and you are asking the deep fundamental questions. What do I want? What no longer serves me? And who and what is it that I need to remove from my life now? This card represents the sign of Virgo. Interestingly enough, the Hermit, you know, Virgo represents the digestive system, and in that way it's very eliminative as an experience. What needs to be removed from your life in order for you to grow? You know, in winter, I'm going into winter, you know, we cut away the dead wood and the brush, so that when spring comes, everything can grow anew and grow afresh. You are entering that period of your life, you know, in time with the seasons. Who better than a Cancer to be tied into the seasons? I wish you an abundance of love, light, peace, prosperity and abundance itself. Have an amazing month, and I will see you very soon for more videos. Take care.